What is up, all football fans and Barca fans? I'm back again with another welcome video, and this one's gonna be a little bit more lengthy one. But I'm gonna talk about the last two rounds of the group stages and how the round of 16 looks, and how it'll kind of look for the first round of the knockout stages. Um, I was gonna do a separate video for the second round as well as did with the first one and then the third one, but I haven't been feeling too well, and I also had a lot of work and I didn't get the time, so I'm sorry about that. This one will be more lengthy, but I want to get that done because the round of 16 starts today, so we'll have to this guy would want to just get this over with. And also it's a little bit early in the morning, so excuse me if it's sorry if it's some like we I say something wrong or something like that, so bear with me with that. But I'm gonna try to get through this as good as possible. So yeah, but let's just start get into it. The first group, let's just get it quickly over with here. In the second round, it was Qatar versus Senegal and Netherlands versus Ecuador. Senegal got the win against Qatar there. Senegal has been playing really well in that group, and they did once again show that they can actually step up. Even though they did lose against Netherlands in the first round, it was more of a bad luck kind of results for them, because Netherlands didn't really look too sharp, but they do get that win against Qatar, which is no surprise there. Qatar then, with that result, were officially eliminated from the World Cup. The host nation did not have a good World Cup at all. No wins, as we'll get in a second. But Netherlands also went on to show why they're not as good, as confident as most people thought they would be going into this World Cup. They were just they got just a draw against Ecuador, which was very much surprising. It was not the most greatest thing. It was like it didn't really hit as well, and once again, Ecuador showed some good spirit, but thanks to some things that really were their downfall, like in injuries and stuff like that, that really in them became their downfall. They were unlucky in the end, but they did show spirit in this World Cup. And they were eliminated from World Cup, but they still showed some good quality. They were not bad. They can still hold their heads high mostly because they show some promise, some really good effort. Um, but that was the second round. The first team, one of the first teams to get eliminated was Qatar, so that was that. Then in the third round, we had Senegal beating Ecuador. Then, as I said, Ecuador, their luck mostly. They wasn't, but they did show spirit at least. But Senegal were really good. Senegal in this group have been very, very much solid, and they deserve to go through into their knockout stages, 100% at second place. They could have had, well, they could have even gotten that first place if it wasn't for their loss against the Netherlands, but they still did really well, and they were a good surprise. They had some really good, talented players, so Senegal definitely went in there, and they got the deserved qualification, and also capping off this group stage with a good win against Ecuador with 2-1. And then we have Netherlands beating Qatar 2-0. Not much of a surprise result there. Qatar there's nothing there really. They didn't really show anything special this World Cup. There were some thoughts about maybe they can show some, but the host nation didn't really show up almost at all. They looked weak in all their games. They lost all their games. It's just they conceded around 6 goals pretty much, which is yeah, you kind of expected that almost to happen. So like it's around 6 or 7 goals. They only scored one, and that was against Senegal. So it's really, that was also at the stage where that game was already done anyway. So it's it's unfortunate for the host nation, but there was not that many expectations of them at all, really, from outside the world. It wasn't. They were like one of the weaker teams going into this tournament, anyways. But yeah, but that's just what it is. Qatar is eliminated. Ecuador as well in third place with 4 points. Qatar was 0-0. Senegal at six, at 6 points at second place, and Netherlands with seven at first. Then Group B, we have in this round, we got Iran beating Wales with 2-0. Wales just did not have a good tournament at all as well. They only managed to scrape by with a draw in this tournament, and it just didn't go well for them. Iran beat them 2-0 comfortably. They put up a strong performance there, but Wales just didn't show up. They really didn't. And in the other game, England versus US, another 0-0. There was plenty of 0-0 draws in this, which is can see as be very boring. Well, it is more exciting at least than like a big blowout game, but it's when it happens too many times in one tournament, it just gets a bit repetitive, if you can understand what I mean with that. It's too much, too many of those type of results. But this game was still somewhat exciting though, because the US really did step up and they really did show their quality, and they got a qualification to the next round deservingly, very much. They did show up well after that. Even after that draw against Wales, to 1-1. They also showed some promise. They did that again against England with another draw, but many of their players really stepped up and really showed their strength. England struggled. England really struggled to get through and really do much. So US really showed that they can actually compete really well, and also they have some very exciting young players. So we'll see what happens with them going forward now in the knockout stages, and also in a few years' time when they will be the hosts for the next World Cup. So we'll see by then how they can perform and what they can do. Um, but this just shows more and more how unstructured England also is. It's just there is something there that's missing. It's like they don't even if that's like a striker maybe, or someone that can clearly. But that's not really the case, because they did win 6-2 against Iran. But um, there is something that is missing. I cannot really put my finger on what it is, but maybe it's the coach and his tactics and how he handles it and how he picks the teams and how it's all structured. Maybe the defense could be sometimes a problem. I don't know, but there's something there that makes me feel like England will. They will have it tough. They will have it tough. They're facing uh, a kind of good side in Senegal in the next round. So I don't know. They could have some problems against them, but they still do have quality players. So you never know what can happen. But they do qualify through in this group on first place, um, because they it still is England, Because then in the third round they did beat Wales with 3-0, but that's mostly more because of how Wales were just out of form in this tournament. Really, they couldn't really show much, but that was at least a little bit more of a moral boost for England, that they can get that over Wales, and yeah, pretty much cementing them, knocking them out of the World Cup, or like fully, but which or they were all it was already mostly set, but there was like slim chance, like there was no chance, but at least they can. There was a slim chance that Wales could at least get that over them, maybe get some payback, but now they really crushed them off, and yeah. But then on the other hand, also USA, this was an interesting game going into it, because other things outside of football, USA versus Iran. USA finally got their win, their first win in this tournament. They got their win in the World Cup, and they beat Iran 1-0, and they go through deserving on second place. Not much more to say about US than I already said. They performed well. They put up a good performance, like really show their quality. Then first place is England, USA second, Iran third, and Wales that last. So Iran and Wales are out of the World Cup, and England and US go through to the next rounds. Then Group C, this is gonna be, I'm trying to put this through very quickly now, because otherwise this video will be way too long. So sorry if I don't put in any most details, but second round here was Poland first against Saudi Arabia. Poland comfortably won 2-0. They did put up a good performance. They did what they had to do there, and Saudi Arabia did not look as confident as they were in the first game versus Argentina. Poland really put them back down to earth, real pretty much. In some ways, it really shook them up, because after that, they had a good start. They deservingly did win against Argentina, but this shows also that it was not fully only because they played well. It was also because Argentina did not pretty much, right. Then of course we have Argentina coming back into good form once again, showing why that they have that quality, that they are that Argentina that most people believe they are and can be. They got a good big win against Mexico with 2-0. Messi scoring as well, and it was really good. It was really really solid, really really good. He stepped up when they needed him, of course. Um, but then goal assist and all that, he did really well, and it was a beautiful goal as well by Messi. So they got that very much deservingly. Mexico going into this, just yeah, that really shook them up and pretty much mostly ended their chances, like it really shook their chances of going through, but they still had that chance going into the final round. It was them versus Poland, like who's gonna be going taking that second place. But that was a big shocker for them. But it was a well-deserved win for Argentina. So in the last round, it was very nerve-wracking, as well. This was what we all wanted to see, like more excitement like this. But most maybe not Argentinians didn't want to, or Argentina fans didn't really feel like it was good to have that many nerves, because they really want Messi and Argentina to go through. But Argentina do win against Poland 2-0. They got a good win there. Argentina really did a good job to shutting or closing Lewandowski off a lot. Didn't really get him any chances to really get through, or any other player for that matter. So they once again put up a great performance, and they did what they had to do, and deservingly take the first place in this group, with the 6 points. It was a good performance by Argentina once again. And on the other hand, also Mexico did win, and they propped themselves up a little bit, and they did win against Saudi Arabia. But in the end, it wasn't enough because of the goal difference. I believe it was not enough in the end. Poland are true in second place because of goal difference, and then and it's tough for Mexico, but they did put up a good performance in the end. They did all they could, but that's how it is. Mexico and Saudi Arabia are out of the World Cup. Then Group D, going through this quickly, France winning the group, Australia in second, Tunisia on third, and Denmark surprisingly last. The last two rounds were not good for Denmark. First off, they lost against France in the second round with 2-1. Not maybe the biggest surprise there that they did lose that, but it's more of a surprise that like they look so out. They look so like they gave in the second half. it was a good performance, firstly, mostly during that game, by Denmark. But they could have gotten something out of that, but then it just all they just capitulated and just gave up, kind of. Christensen got a really good goal there, and that's their only goal pretty much in this whole tournament. That was the only goal they scored in this tournament, and he got that. So I'm happy for him that he at least got to score that. As a Barcelona fan, I'm happy that he got that, but it wasn't enough. France turned it back around, and yeah, they scored a 2-1, and it didn't look too good for Denmark, And same in the last round there, they lost to Australia, who also in the previous round beat Tunisia. Tunisia didn't really show up much in this, but they did do it well enough. They did show some promise. They got third place. They got ahead of Denmark, but that's maybe more because of Denmark just had a massively, surprisingly disappointing tournament. But yeah, Australia got that win against Denmark. Australia goes through in second place, deservingly there. And Tunisia, but that's what I'm saying. Tunisia did not play bad in this tournament, even though they are eliminated. Because in the end, they did get a shock win against France in the last game. Didn't really mean much, but it still was very much of. In the end, it didn't really matter, but it was still a big shocking win. And it showed that France couldn't be shook up. Yes, most of the game they didn't play with all their first kind of team players uh, in the lineup. Deschamps didn't really uh, put his best team up himself for more than the bench players, but still, it's still France. Most of those players are still very much so really good world players, and also Griezmann was subbed. He even scored a goal, but it was disallowed, and a lot of other things. It's just, but Tunisia got a very, very good win there, and that was at least good for their confidence. That at least brought them into at least not ending up dead last in the group, and at least that's something that that country can be proud of. Their fans can be proud of. That at least they went out of the World Cup with a big bang, pretty much. Like they at least showed their strength. And then Group E, we have a very surprising turnaround. There were more also another disappointment for a certain country. And you know what I'm talking about here. Japan got first in this group. Very much surprisingly, in a group that has Spain, Germany, and Costa Rica in it as well. This was very much surprising for most people. Like, yeah, they knew that Japan can do something good and possibly could make it through, but getting up in the first place, that was really surprising. And it's opened up in the second round. They also lost in the second round, first off, against Costa Rica with 1-0. So nobody really believed that, yeah, and then Japan's gonna be first. No. Costa Rica ended up last in this group. They beat them with 1-0. I don't know much about it. I didn't see much of that game, but it's just like, yeah, that was a weird one. And in that round as well, Spain drew against Germany. That gave Germans some more hope that maybe they can actually make it through. This time maybe there won't be another disappointment. And it also shook up Spain a little bit, but I think Spain can still feel themselves much, much confident in that they can still make it through. But in the end, as you've seen, it didn't go either of their way in certain senses. Like, Spain did not get the top spot in the group, and Germany once again gets eliminated from the group stage in the World Cup, just like last time around, in a third big tournament in a row where they have failed to really show big promise and big progress. You know, they failed to show that in the Euros a couple years ago. They failed to show that, like, in last year, I believe. Yeah, they failed to show that last year in the Euros. They failed to show that um a few years ago in the last World Cup when they were eliminated in a group with Sweden as well. Where we were the ones topping the. I'm still shocked that even happened. That Sweden got number one in that group, but it's it's really another major disappointment for Germany, and like and Hansi Flick, like I don't know what's gonna happen, but it's like he just didn't really get there with this time around. He didn't couldn't get through with the players. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the players aging, or something else. But this was another disappointment for Germany. This is something that they absolutely did not want to happen again. It's a nightmare for them, pretty much. Spain, they did scrap by. Thankful for them, they kind of still can be confident, even though they did lose the last game against Japan. Japan really surprised many people in this tournament now, but they did, thanks to the goal difference, because of that first game against Costa Rica with a 7-0. That still is the biggest result so far, goal wise, in this tournament. So that because of that first result, they do still go through on goal difference with 6 ahead of Germany's +1. So it's it's good. It's good for them. They also get a mostly decent, you know, opponent in Morocco. It's like it's not too bad. I think they can feel themselves confident enough against Morocco with the qualities that they have. But though Morocco is not bad at all, which we'll get to in a second, because they did a really good thing in their group. So um but yeah, but that's pretty much what that is. Spain and Japan go through. Germany and Costa Rica are out. Japan will be also facing Croatia in the next round in the knockout stages. I forgot to say in last one, France will be facing Poland, and Australia will be the ones facing Argentina, as I said before, too. So now moving on, the next one. I'm sorry this video is so long, but you can skip through it to the ones you want to see. Morocco did a shocker in this one. Same with Belgium, but for a different reason. Morocco did win this group. A group that had Croatia, Belgium, and Canada. Morocco was the one to get up on top, which nobody expected. This was absolutely crazy. And the second round will have them see them beat Belgium 2-0. That just already showed that they were like, wow, this is something. Morocco is something. Even the first result they had 0-0, people will say, oh, this Morocco team actually has something good. They actually are very much talented. Um, and then in the final one, they beat Canada as well, 2-1. So they did not lose any game. They did not lose any game in this group stage, which nobody expected. They Some maybe expect they can do decently and possibly get a third place or something, but never would anyone have expected Morocco to be the one to top this group and go on to the next knockout stage. So on the other hand, then Belgium was the big disappointment. I think the biggest of all the nations. This is the one with the biggest disappointment, aside from Germany, of course. But this one is just wow. I just don't know what happened with Belgium. Is it maybe because of their aging players or the coach, which has stepped down now as well? That was already planned before. Um, I just don't know. I just don't know. It's like in the final game as well. In the game against Morocco, they looked bleak, and in the final game against Croatia, which ended at 0-0, they also just looked out of it entirely, missing a lot of chances. Especially Lukaku, when he came in, missed clear chances, absolute clear chances, and it was very much shocking, and nobody could understand what the hell was happening to Belgium this time around. And I'm sorry to all the Belgians and all the but this is like, I did not expect this. I had them also going through. I didn't really did not expect them to go into this group stage and only like get one win, one draw, and one loss. It's just, it's really weird. They only beat Canada, but that's because Canada were just not strong enough for this World Cup. They came last. They have some promise, but they just, it really didn't really show this time around. And best of luck to them another time. This was their first World Cup in like forever, in like really long time. So it's, or maybe or so, it's kind of understandable. It was their first time around, and it's just a big thing for them to even be here. So uh it sucks for them. They didn't get any wins, and no draws, just all losses. But uh, they can at least say they scored the first World Cup goal. That, at least there's that. They got a first World Cup goal in the final game versus Morocco, and they at least tried. They tried. They gave it the much as they could, and still props for them to going into that and having good spirits. But Belgium is just, what the hell happened here? I just don't know. All the players looked bleak. Kevin De Bruyne and Eden Hazard, Romelu Lukaku, like Alderweireld, like all those players, the defense, the midfield, the forwards, everything just didn't fit. It didn't work. Um, and they barely got any goals. They got one goal against Canada, and that's it. That's it. That's the only goal they scored. They scored one goal. With that much talent, they only got one goal, and then they had lost against Morocco and lost against or drew against Croatia, which Croatia also could have actually beaten them, but just, I don't know. It just, they had bad luck in that. They also had very much bad luck because there was something happening there, like a goal that was disallowed, which it was very much just very controversial, and it was like all a lot of weird stuff. But Croatia go through on second place deservingly too. Morocco 100% deservingly go through on first place. Belgium deservingly go out. Same with Canada. It was a shocker for Belgium. It's just, I think that golden age is coming to an end 100%. That team that did so well in the last World Cup, that got like third place in that World Cup, they're not really the same team anymore. Um, so that's very much, it's sad. It's sad to see that, but that's just the reality and how it is right now. So they go out. Belgium and Canada are out. Morocco, Croatia through. Morocco facing Spain next, and Croatia are facing Japan, which are both tougher games for them. Both Japan and Spain were in the same group. Japan surprised, can do something. Morocco very much surprised and could put up something against Spain. We'll see how they perform there, but um, it's a very interesting World Cup so far. Now it's really stepping up and showing some interesting things happening. Something that most people did not expect. So, but now let's get these two last groups out of the way. So this video will not be way too long. Group G, second round, 3-3 against Serbia. Cameroon against Serbia. It was 3-3. Pretty eventful game, winning goals and stuff like that. A lot of things happening. Cameroon are very unlucky to be eliminated from this World Cup. They did perform decently well, but it was just about that first loss against Schweiz that really just made them fall, kind of, because they really put up a good fight. They even won their last game against Brazil. So I can like say that they at least can hold their heads high and really show that they know that they put up a good fight in this tournament. And other way there, it's Brazil in the second round. Brazil won against Switzerland, 1-0. Brazil, I don't know what to really make of them so far. They have been up and down, not made massive results in terms of goals. They have done okay, but they have done what they needed to do, and they did win their group. But I don't know. It's a little bit of a mystery for me so far. But of course, it's still Brazil. Maybe that's because of Neymar's injury and things like that. But who knows? Who knows really what it is? But Switzerland also deservedly do get through to the next round with on second place with their wins happening against Serbia and Cameroon. That which was enough for them to really do that. Even though they did lose against Brazil, they go through there with 6 points. The last game against Serbia, it was 3-2. It was a very entertaining game though, a lot of goals, but Switzerland do win in the end. Serbia get a result, disappointing result overall in this World Cup. But when you have a group like that, it's like, yeah, somebody has to be the one that really goes out, and this time it was Serbia. So they kind of look like they're the weakest team here this time around. So yeah, but lucky for Cameroon as well. But congrats to Brazil and Switzerland. They go through. Brazil will be facing South Korea, which also could surprise them in a way, because they in their group, they, I'll come to in a second, they did pretty well, but just about. But also Switzerland will be facing Portugal, which will be a tough task against them. For them, Portugal is strong, but once again, as I'll come to in a second, there is some doubts over that too. Whether or what, how far can they go into this tournament? So yeah, the last group H, the second round was 3-2 to Ghana against South Korea. South Korea did lose that one, but they did put up a good performance overall. They did really they did rival Ghana a bit. So even more so than what like, and that's tough. That's really like tough for Ghana, because Ghana first lost 3-2 to Portugal in a controversial way. It was just not a fun thing, and then you see a lot of other things happening in the team, and they get this win, which was a good little bit boost for them. But then you go into the last round, where they then lost to Uruguay with 2-0. The whole story repeating itself again with Suarez, and all that, you know. But the thing is, though, that Uruguay also got eliminated, sadly, though, unluckily for them, because Portugal beat them in the second round 2-0. And even though they beat Ghana 2-0 in the last round, South Korea, shock, like a major shocker in a big time around, won against Portugal 2-1. This was a big thing for South Korea, because that was a big result for them. That's the result that could pretty much sees them through to the next, like, definitely sees them through to the next round. And got got everybody really shocked and surprised, because that's also the result that really tips it over. It was very much close and like equal in both goal difference and points and everything with South Korea and Uruguay, but it was the yellow cards that decided it in the end. That South Korea go through, so it could have gone either way, but their win here really helped them at least a little bit more to that. Unlucky for Uruguay, still a decent enough World Cup for them, even though, like, they did only get that one win against Ghana, but they still showed decent enough quality. Like, but it was not enough. It was not enough. Their squad is not fully there. It's not the strongest of squads, so it's like in many aging players up front as well, like Suarez, like Cavani, who are now getting up in age, and it wouldn't last too long, anyways. Really, I feel bad for Ghana as well, though, because they had some promise, but it just wasn't meant to be for them. Uh, but yeah, they did get that win against South Korea, which is also how some of these teams go from losing and then just shockingly turning it all around and getting to the next round and getting qualifying. It's in this group stage have been very much crazy. It's been really, really weird and really, really crazy to see that type of things. Like, some of these teams they never expected to do such turnarounds have done that, and that's absolutely just insane. Nobody, I never would have. If somebody would have told me that this would have happened in the before this World Cup started, I would look at them like they were absolutely nuts. But yeah, but that's what that is. Portugal go through, South Korea go through, Uruguay and Ghana out. Portugal will be facing Switzerland, as I said before, and South Korea will be facing Brazil. Both, like I don't know, like Portugal could have a tough time against Switzerland. It depends how Switzerland show up and what they do, because there is some uncertainty. Sometimes Portugal can be a bit rocked and can be a bit shaken up, as we saw in the last game where South Korea really brought it around and just got that win. It's and even in a game like Portugal versus Ghana, it was like Ghana really were unlucky to lose that game. Portugal did not look overly more dominant. Uh, the result you can kind of see like, oh yeah, Portugal, they do win, they got that done, but that doesn't tell you the whole story really. With the stats and everything, what happened, uh, Portugal got out of that very luckily, but hey, they have quality. They have quality. Portugal have some really incredible and talented players, so it can go either way. This World Cup has shown anything can really happen. So, but I'm just saying, if Switzerland possibly could exploit some of those small problems that Portugal have, just like Korea did in the last game, and also Ghana somewhat did in that first game. But um, but that's just up to proof. Really. That's just we just have to wait and see what really happens there. So yeah. But that's gonna do it. I'm sorry this is so long, almost 40 minutes long, but I had to go through this whole thing, every group stage and who got eliminated and who went through. But congrats to everyone who made it through the next round. Congratulations for everyone else that got eliminated. Next time, and some of these teams that were eliminated can still hold their heads high because it did show some real good promise and really good um quality, like Tunisia and like Canada and and Ghana and Ecuador and stuff like that. They did show at least some spirit and some good, entertaining, good football at moments. So they at least had that. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, leave a like down below and also subscribe if you've not done that already, and ring the notification bell to get notified next time I upload videos, which will probably be soon, the day the round of 16 starts, and I will be covering those games afterwards. I'll make a video after that. It's today. I believe it's Netherlands versus the US and Argentina versus Australia. So I will be doing that afterwards. I don't know if I'm gonna do them both in one video or maybe separate ones. We'll see how it happens. But keep an eye out for keep an eye out for those videos that will be coming. And also leave a comment down below and tell me if your nation or the nation you support at least went through, and how do you think that their chances are, and what do you think about the group stage overall and what happens. Were you surprised by any of the results and so on? I would like you to know what you guys think. So yeah, but other than that, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace, Cabarso.